Here we go. Hey, everybody. Becky Lewis here from RecLewisCoaching.com. How are you? I am sitting here with Josh Centers, and we're talking about Dan Henry's course, Funnels and Ads for Entrepreneurs, which is totally awesome. And Josh has an amazing story with this course. Absolutely amazing story. So I'm excited to dive into it and share it with you guys. You know, maybe you have seen Dan's webinar, maybe you haven't yet. You know, in this video, you know, this is what I've been saying, because there's so many ways online you can go, and I'm doing the same thing. You know, I may have this on YouTube, I may have it on my Facebook page, you know, whatever. However you're seeing this, maybe it's in a follow-up email because you've already watched the webinar. But stay tuned, because Josh has an amazing story. If you've been, you know, you're someone who's been like dabbling in online marketing and you've tried a little of this, you know, maybe you're in direct sales, maybe you're in multi-level marketing company. You know, there's so many different ways that people kind of come into the online marketing space. And Josh is no different, right? I mean, you started out, Josh said, like in e-commerce, and then you kind of stumbled upon Dan's course, basically?
Yes, basically.
Okay.
That's what happened.
Okay.
So basically, it was back in 2013, 2012, when I started looking at e-commerce and drop shipping, basically. Got frustrated and quit. Then I went into sales and thought I found what I loved in sales. And it just got a little bit ridiculous. Clients started getting it. It was just hard to make sales. So I stumbled upon the 90-day e-com challenge, and I you know, said, okay, well, you know, it's worth it. I could do this. And what brought that to me is one day my daughter was sick, and she had 105-degree fever, and I had to go to work, and I couldn't stay home with her. So I was ticked off, and I wanted to take my own finances into my own hands. So I stumbled upon the 90-day e-com challenge, and I started going through that. Then I met somebody at that point in time who said, hey, you need to check out Dan Henry's course, and, you know, tell me what you think. So I started watching his webinar, and I was hooked from the beginning. And, you know, I didn't necessarily have the money to get the course at that time at all, but I figured it out, and I made it happen. One of the things about his course, it was just, he completely lays out everything that you have to do. You know, versus e-com compared to Dan Henry's. Dan Henry teaches Facebook ads. Facebook ads are the base to all of this. Without Facebook ads, we're not going to know how to do e-com. We're not going to know how to do any of this stuff. So if you're going from a point, if you're in e-com or even thinking about e-com, you got to start with Facebook ads and get that basis down. And then he teaches you how to grow an agency, or, you know, whether you want to be an agent or an agency or a freelancer. He lays that all out there, and he gives you his own blueprint to his success too. So it's something that when you watch his webinar, you know you can do this.
Yep. Yeah, that is so true. That is so true. And I felt the same way. You know, when I first watched his webinar, it was like, you know, and I ask people that a lot, like, how do you know you can do it? But I mean, listen to that confidence that you had in your voice. That comes from, like, you know, confidence, like, kind of rubs off on people, you know, and it's like that in sales in general. Right. Like, you just feel it from people, you know, whatever, you're sitting across the table from a salesman, or you're buying a car, whatever the case is, like, you feel that. I mean, you just, and I felt that when you said it too. It was just there. It's like, you know, you can do it, you know, because that's what I ask people, like, well, that's great, you sat in your webinar, like, you know, and Dan teaches so much in the webinar, and you can get started right from the webinar. You know what I mean? You don't have to buy his course. He gives you so much that you can just start running right there, you know? But how do you know that? Like, how do you know you can do it? Like, it, you know, I mean, I felt that just when you said that now, but I felt the same way when I was watching. And I think it was because it comes from Dan, because Dan is so confident. It's like, you know, I mean, it's like when you have any kind of an intense emotional experience with something.
Yeah.
I think people understand, you know, let's take like sadness. Okay. People go through some horribly sad experience, a death in the family or something, and it's shaken them up so much to the core that whatever they tell you is so convicting. It's like, you know what? This is the saddest thing in my life. I've never been through anything like this before. And this, like, you believe them. You know what I mean? Like, there's no doubt. There's no questioning. Oh, maybe they're kind of telling me a story, or they're lying, or whatever. No, like, you can feel their pain. I mean, there's no doubt. And, it works with anything emotional. And Dan, you feed off of his emotion. You pick that up because he's made it happen. I mean, he's like, you can't argue with him. Like, he's had
No.
all success stories. He's been a success himself. He's created all these success stories. And that's exactly how I felt. I said, one way or another, I'm buying the course. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, I had money here and money there. And, just a little bit, like I had to work for it, but I had it, saved up for something else that I wanted to do with my business. And I thought, no, and the way I did it, honestly, I don't know about you, maybe you can tell your story, Josh, but, oh my gosh, like, you guys, you have to invest, you have to have this money, right? But for me, I had a bunch of jewelry that I inherited, right? And because I was already pouring a lot of money into my business. I'm like, where am I going to get more, and it had no sentimental value to me. And I said, you know what? I'm selling this. I don't care. You know what I mean? I can rebuy it when I'm a millionaire. Like, who cares?
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
bam. I mean, like, it's a no-brainer. And if you guys are watching this again, you're starting out online, you're trying to make money, you don't know where to go and how to do it. Like, and maybe you're coming from a place, like where Josh was at, where, I mean, he just had this aha moment, right? Like, your daughter's sick, and here you can't be with her. I mean, she's got a huge fever, and here you are going off to work, and it's like, this sucks. Like, this is,
Yeah.
I have 2 kids as well, and I hate that. I've had that happen to me before. Like, oh, you know what I mean? If you're a parent out there, right?
One way I could tell the value, and one thing that like superseded my confidence for this, is I'm in insurance, so I know what direct selling is, and I know when people are interested, and I kind of know how to sell, and I have that to my advantage. But you don't have to have any type of sales skills, and this is really when I knew, because I'm not even through week 1. I'm about through week 1, and I'm really trying to get through this thing and absorb it. But I already have people waiting for me. I have about 5 different business owners waiting for me, and so I've gone around 2 businesses, basically educating people on my product, for fun, because I usually deal with more of state employees.
Okay.
But every person that I've talked to regarding social media advertising, when I bring this up, there is some form of interest, versus when I'm going out and doing my insurance thing, I may be getting 1 out of 5 people interested. And every person with social media advertising, business owners are, yeah, all right, cool, let's meet up next week.
Wow.
So that's why I'm trying to get through this. So the value in seeing what you can make happen is just absolutely amazing. All you have to do is take action. And that's why, some people may not get it, because they don't take action.
Right.
But I mean, it's there if you want it. Absolutely.
Yeah. Right. No, so well said. Like, I mean, social media advertising is hot right now. And that's, another reason, if you're out there, you're sitting on the fence, again, maybe you watched the webinar, or, you had a little bit of interest, but you're not sure, or you're trying to get the money together or whatever, like, do it now. Because really, I mean, 2017, like, internet online marketing, the world in general is changing so fast. Like, who knows if the opportunity is really going to be here, much in a couple of years. Like, and it will be, there'll be probably there's got to be some form of advertising, but it's going to be different, and it's going to change. Something's going to shift. So jump in now while there's still all this excitement. And like Josh is saying, like, you can go out there and just say, hey, what, I've got this going on, whatever. And people are interested. They want to know about it, possibly, again, a lot more than something else online that you may be doing right now that's not as successful, or not as simple, not as easy. You find that you kind of have to talk people into it more, or whatever. I found the same thing. I walked into a restaurant the other day, and setting up an appointment, and I talked to the owner, and I said, hey, this is what I've got going on, blah, blah, blah. And, he's like, well, we have someone doing our social media and whatever. And, my wife, hired, she's on some contract or whatever. But he said, I'm not married to anybody that, I'm very interested to hear what what you have to say, and, whatever. So, I mean, like, people are interested, you know what I mean? Like, so.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's
a game changer.
What's that?
I said, this is a game changer for people that want to work from home. Yeah,
it absolutely is. It absolutely is. And I think for a couple of reasons. Like, number one, again, I'm, work with a lot of people who are in MLMs and direct sales. And that's a great industry. I mean, I started in that industry. I love that industry. But the margins are low. And if you don't, hard, you're selling a $50 product and whatever. Okay, well, so you're actually profiting maybe $20 a sale or whatever. And it's going to take a lot of customers, repeat customers to stick with you and new customers, to replace those that are dropping off, to get to a 5-figure income, per month where you want to be or whatever, even 4 figures for a lot of people. So, something like this, I mean, you get a couple clients and your whole financial situations change because now you
Yeah.
a couple $1,000s a month coming in or whatever. And it's amazing. It's a total game changer.
My first client that was probably well, actually the first client I got was a bigger client.
Okay.
And when I was talking to him, I'm trying to figure out what I said exactly and how I said it.
Uh-huh.
I didn't have anything scripted. But when I was talking to him, what sold it to him and then reaffirmed it for myself was these companies pay thousands of dollars for paper campaigns, thousands of dollars, whether
Yeah.
it's, a car. I'm thinking on the low spectrum, it's anywhere from $3,000 to $7,000 a month is what the average research is. I know a lot of car dealerships that will spend over $100,000 in advertising. But what I said to him was, you're paying these thousands of dollars for advertising on a billboard or a newspaper or a magazine that's in a local county, paying thousands of dollars a month just for your name to be out there, when you could just put your name on Facebook and have it target people that are actually interested in your product. So that in itself basically sets the expectations and shows the value of how ads in general are going to do and accomplish a lot more than any ad campaign. So that right there statement, really showed me that this is it.
Right. Yeah, yeah, no, that's so true because, just like you said, you're buying these ads in, the little town flyer magazines or whatever, and they're expensive. I mean, $400, $500 for one ad for 1 week or whatever, and like you said, it's not targeted. I mean, it's going out there. I mean, it's like a billboard,
Right.
like everybody's seeing it, but half these people aren't even interested. Whereas when you go in with Facebook advertising, you can target whoever you want. You can target people by income. You can target, specific age ranges and, people who are already interested in what you're selling, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get so laser targeted. You're not wasting any money that way. It's like, yeah, it's a no brainer. I mean, it's a total no brainer. That's just awesome. Yeah. Now, shift gears a little bit. I found, and I'm still kind of getting going with this, but so far I have found the Facebook student group for this course to be invaluable, like almost
Oh yeah.
as valuable as the course itself. I mean, what do you think, Josh? What have you gotten out of it so far?
I'm a very skeptical person.
Okay.
So to even convince me to do something like, because I've been burned before. I started out in MLM. I don't know if you ever heard of MCA, Motor Club
I
of America.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started doing that, and
Okay.
I couldn't get past, like, what was it, AdWeber, or figure out how to use it. So I had ended up quitting. I placed ad. But going off subject here,
No.
the Facebook group. Immediately once I became a member, this was like literally 10 o'clock at night.
Hmm.
I sent a request in, and it didn't get approved till the next day. So right when the next day hit, I was at work. Um, I started asking people that were successful for
Hmm.
validation. I think James Cluster was one of the guys
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
that's in the 10K club.
Yep.
So I looked up his Facebook profile because I was kind of concerned, like, well, this has to be real. So I started looking up everybody, and I wrote a few private messages to people. They responded, totally real, totally legit.
Uh-huh.
So, if anybody's ever skeptical, just look at the people that are successful on there, and you'll find that these people are real and they had the 10K club. But I will screenshot questions that I know are a little bit advanced for me. So when I go there, yeah, it completely invaluable. If not, it's just as valuable as a course, because you're getting Dan's shortcut, first of all, to understand how to do this. Second of all, you're getting information from people that are going through different steps of the course that completely can help you shortcut if you have an issue. So it's best thing ever.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's like a free like bonus training because it's because sometimes I find that there's like the guru, and Dan would never say he was a guru. Like he hates that. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? He's so low key. But I mean, the truth is he knows exactly what he's doing. I mean, he's like he's it. He's the guy. You know what I mean? He's guru status in my mind. But sometimes we can't relate to those guys as much, or it even kind of like it just makes you feel more defeated before you've even started because you're like, well, of course he
I
can
know
be
what you mean.
a guru. But then you get into a group, like the student group that we have on Facebook for the course, and everybody's at different places. Some people, maybe just starting out like you are, or like me, or like the next guy, or whatever. And then someone else is sort of in the middle. Maybe they've been on the journey for 6 months and they've started out super successful on an MLM or with e-commerce or whatever, already, and now they're branching off, wanting to do Facebook ads, either for themselves, or to start an agency. This isn't just about starting an agency. We should kind of, remind people about.
Right.
I mean, you can, if
True.
you have something, your own course or your own thing you're trying to sell, this teaches you how to run Facebook ads for it. It teaches it very, very well. And Dan's only improving the course as it goes. Like, he's constantly updating it and, adding new things and giving us more and more free value, in the course. So it's not like he just sells it to you and just, okay, good luck, see ya. You know what I mean? Bam, I made my money
Yep.
and I'm gone. I mean, he's updating things and he's helping. He really, really wants us to succeed, which makes sense because duh, you know what I mean? He's going to sell more courses and, he's going to just make more of a name for himself if we all knock it out of the park, which a lot of us are doing. So, you know, but yeah, that's
Absolutely.
so. Yep, very very
No,
cool.
the course is absolutely awesome. I've tried other courses too, and they didn't hold a candle to what he's doing.
I agree.
So this is the foundation for everything, especially Facebook ads. And who knows, maybe in the future he might cover, other things as well. I'm sure he will.
Oh, I'm sure he will. He's not stopping. I mean, he's already, and there, guys. I may include a link to this as well. We'll see. But right now, he's got a course out on how to keep your Facebook ad account running, and
Okay.
it's just he's going to run this course. Right? Hasn't ran yet, but then he's going to sell it. As a separate training. The price is going to go up. So if you want in on that, get back to me, maybe click the link below. I don't know how I'll set it up yet, but because you do have to know what you're doing, right? It's not necessarily, it's not rocket science, but you have to know the ins and outs of Facebook because Facebook is constantly kind of like tightening up its rules and changing things, and you get your ad account banned for having
Yeah.
something in your ad that they don't approve of or whatever. So that's huge too, to keep your nose clean and make sure you're doing it right. But Dan's constantly adding more training and doing more things. I mean, he's amazing. He's just amazing.
Yep. He is.
So, yeah, very, very cool. Very awesome. Well, Josh, any last minute advice for someone who's, maybe on the fence about, oh, I don't want to bother watching the webinar, or, I have the money to buy the course. I don't buy the course. That's ridiculous. I don't know, whatever, any last minute encouragement or advice for people like that?
Number one, it's always scary purchasing something, especially when you don't have a lot of money. But when are you gonna have it? Everybody gets paid every 2 weeks. You're gonna get paid in another 2 weeks anyway. I'm not saying it's not important if obviously if you can't afford it, but there's other ways that you can go about it. And I think there's like a payment plan that you could do. But it's completely worth it. It'll change your life. I mean, from when I did this a few weeks ago to now, and yes, I was a little bit nervous in the beginning because I spent money I didn't have,
Sure.
but knowing that I'm going to make more money this month than I've made probably in the last 2 months
Wow.
is a feeling that I would have never had unless I did this. So jump right in,
Yeah.
do it, get it over with, start learning. And then if you're doing the course, go out and talk to people. If you
Yeah.
don't, go
Yeah.
out and talk to people right now.
Right.
Say,
Right.
hey, I'm new to this industry. I would, love to
Right.
talk to you and set up an appointment, and you'll see their response. And they're absolutely responsive. They want to make more money. They
Yeah.
realize that this is important. So just go out and do it.
That's right. Yeah. Amen. Well said. Yeah. Well said. Well said. Yep. Yep. And it's funny, like you said, you didn't have the money, but you did it anyway, right? Like, and I learned this a long time ago. And it like made this connection, but like most of us have proven that, people say, oh, I don't have the money. I can't afford that. I don't have the money. Most of us have proven that we will buy things even without having the money, because
Right.
how many of us have, a revolving credit card, debt and balance every month? You know what I mean? Like, you're buying other things without having the money, right? Because you're, whatever, your credit card comes in and it's at $2,000 or, whatever the case is. So are those things, whatever you've spent that money on, is that as important as, picking up something that really can change your financial picture and finally get you where you want to be? You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
invest in those things. Don't go to the mall and blow your money on this and that and stupid stuff. Need a new pair of shoes and all that. Stupid stuff like that. It doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? Make some sacrifices and do what you have to do. Sell some jewelry, whatever. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because it's going to change your life and it's going to get you to your financial goals. If you work it and if you use it. So, yeah, that's great. Very, very cool. All right, guys. Well, that's it. I gotta run. I think Josh is gonna run too. But click the link below. Okay, there may be maybe a link below, maybe above. I don't know where you're seeing this on YouTube or maybe on Facebook. Maybe it's linked in an email to you, whatever. But click the link for more information. It might be direct to buy, maybe just to watch the webinar. If you've already watched it, you should be able to click and then go through. You can probably fast forward through the webinar and get to the purchase link and pick up the course that way. Either way, definitely check it out. Get more info. And we will talk to you guys next time. Peace. Josh, thanks so much for
Bye.
being here, and we will see you. Take care.